Hello, vinyl community. This is Embarrassment of Riches, and I have been gone for over a month from the vinyl community due to health issues with my spine, as I've mentioned before. I've had since the last month a couple of MRIs and a spinal cord stimulator trial installation. If none of you know anything about all that, that's a good thing for you, but hang on, I'll explain it all in a PowerPoint presentation. This won't even take an hour, maybe 45 minutes, so just bear with me. Okay, so for the spinal cord stimulator trial implementation, it starts off with 2 small surgical incisions here. I'm just playing. I'm not going to talk about any of that. That's just me being stupid. It is embarrassment of riches, after all. It has been difficult to watch all these cool tags happen in the vinyl community and not be able to participate. The pain's been pretty terrible, but I am up today. Going to see how far I can go with this. I will record and hopefully edit this tonight and get it up because it will be my January vinyl finds and a definition of refocusing my collection. Refocusing only in the sense that my wife told me to spend less money on records, so now I need to really focus on a couple here and there that really matter to the collection instead of willy-nilly buying stacks and stacks trying to fill in spots that may not matter in the long run, but I'm really trying to laser focus on the things that I find the most important that are, of course, also more cost efficient because we have things that we want to build in the next couple of years to come. So, refocus and see how that goes. I'm trying, man. I'm really trying. Because of my laser focusing of my collecting in the year 2025, in my 54th year. Damn. Yeah, so I only got a couple of records this month, but they were things that I found very important. And one of the albums that I am laser focused on is one I've been chasing for over 30 years at this point. It was only released in Europe in 1992, and I've never seen one in the wild, and the very few that I have seen for sale online have just been for ridiculous prices. They're not priced to sell. They're just priced to see who's the sucker that's going to pay that much for it. And on the rare occasion this happens, I wasn't the sucker. It was just at a level that I wasn't willing to go. And apparently nobody else was either, because those ones that have been on sale for that much are still sitting there. Someone's just fucking thrown them in their Discogs and said, okay, somebody will pay for this someday. And the one I've seen on Discogs has been there for years. And I've seen one on eBay come and go, went for a price I wasn't willing to do. And most recently, I did pick that record up, and it was just me and another dude going for it, and I was willing to spend 50 more cents than he was. And the only other one from the United States right now is going for $200. Like I said, that guy does not want to sell that record. He just wants to have a listing for whatever reason. More power to you, brother. I wish you no luck at all. So we can start now with what is the very fast sinking ship that is Vinyl Me Please. Much to my dismay, because as I have stated in previous videos, I've been a member for more than a few years now and largely been very satisfied. There have been long dry periods, a couple of months at a time, of what the fuck releases from them, but they are trying to please all the people all the time. They really kind of compacted their service in the last 60 days, taking away various tracks that you could subscribe to, and really what seems to be just warehousing past titles, which I don't really have a whole lot of problem with. They got to make money, and I'm probably going to stick around just long enough to get copies of the titles that have been previously released, because the things they have coming out now fresh aren't always doing it for me, and the prices are fucking stupid. So, yeah, I'll pay whatever it is as they're clearing out their warehouse. to fill my collection up and maybe get some duplicates of the ones I really love, because they do have copies of past Vinyl Me Please releases there, and they're just sitting there. And I only have one of them, and maybe I'd like to gift one or just have a backup copy. So I'll hang around for a few more months. I said that last year. I wish them well. There's a whole lot of articles online about the bed shitting that the executive board did there and some of the moves they made. It's kind of heartbreaking because they did this subscription model better than anybody else I had seen. And I mean, there's still not a lot of options that beat them. And so this last month, I just figured I'd take something from the classics track that they had, and it's Black Nasty, Talking to the People. This is originally a Stax release from 1973 of what is purported to be some really good funk. I figure why not? I'll give it a try. And the samples I've heard have sounded pretty damn good to me and right in line with mid-1970s Stax funk, which is something that I believe you can never really go wrong with. So as long as they keep stuff like this in the store, I'll probably hang around for the rest of the year. But man, they are on a very short, very angry leash. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be disappointed with this one. And the next record for January was one that I had seen, had finally got a repress, and is very near and dear to my heart. The scene, for sure. Nardcore punk rock, which I saw Rich Kids on LSD in 1994, and that, to that point, was about the extent of my knowledge of what Nardcore really was. And then in 1996, I moved to Oxnard, and it ended up meeting a whole lot of really awesome people that had ties and were a part of that Nardcore scene. All super great people, very creative, a lot of fun to be around. And this one, Stalag 13 in Control. This is a repress of the 1984 Nardcore classic from Upstart Records, a very short-lived Southern California label. I think they were a label only for 1984, but man, did they release some joints in that time. Yeah, 1984 also saw Upstart Records release songs from Red Scare, Circle One, and Kilroy. Really very shamefully short-lived label. I would like to find out what happened. I may do a deep dive on that just because that's kind of what I do. Regardless, Stalag 13 with just a beautiful Jaime Hernandez cover. Another Oxnard resident, if you know anything about Nardcore. One of the most distinguishing features of the best Nardcore releases is a record from Jaime Hernandez. Of course, of Los Bros Hernandez and Love and Rockets fame. Love and Rockets, the comic, mind you. Not the band, who is also dope. It's kind of rare you see those two things really being awesome. And that also brings to mind something that a lot of record collectors don't care about, but I do. I don't see a lot of comic book crossover in the Venn diagram with vinyl collectors. It's always been so for me and a lot of people I've known, so to see it not really well represented sucks. Some people do it awesome, and that is a shout out to Daryl D at All Things Daryl D, who's got a way much far better comic book collection than I do. But bringing up Jaime Hernandez doing the cover for the Stalag 13 reminded me that I had just got back my graded comics for the year. I send like 10 a year to CGC for grading, and this is an original first press Love and Rockets from Jaime and his brother Gilbert. And I believe his older brother was on this as well. Very rare, very hard to find. I'll take an 8.0. I bought it knowing it wasn't going to be super high grade, but there are so few of these things in the wild, and now one of them's mine. Love to make a video about that, but it would probably get about 10 people watching it, and 8 of them would be my friends. Yes, and so the 2025 re-release of this Nardcore classic from Trust Records. Pretty much any time I see a Nardcore release getting re-released, I'm going to jump on it. It's just, if I don't know some of these people, they're friends of friends. And there's another dope ass Jaime picture of a skater. Damn. And this was, man, he was very young back then. He's still kicking ass and loving rockets. So yeah, cool stuff. I'm stoked. And what's up, Nardcore and all my friends back in Oxnard? I miss all you guys very much. You know you are, Dave. And coming up next is another one of the very few records I did pick up in January. It wasn't necessarily a dry January, but I can tell you it wasn't even moist. So, focus. Focus on your collection. This one here, I am not familiar with at all outside of its reputation, which doesn't happen a lot in music. But the 1971 original release of Surf's Up from the Beach Boys. I've always been a lukewarm fan of the Beach Boys. The greatest hits have some great songs, and of course, Pet Sounds is very interesting, and Wouldn't It Be Nice is just beautiful. And I mean, they've made probably 10 songs that are always on my favorites playlist on my computer and on my phone that just get interspersed with everything else. I'm not a fan of fucking hot rod songs and songs about going to the hop or anything like that. This seems to be a bit more dark. I don't think Brian Wilson had the main writing duties on this one. I believe this is one that the contributions from everybody else started to come in, and we can really hope that the ones from Mike Love were minimal. I don't know any of these songs. Maybe if they played, and I reckon like the titles don't tell me shit. Like none of it seems familiar. So I will absolutely throw this one on, sit back and try to take it for what it is and enjoy it. I hope it's one I end up really liking. Regardless, I did buy this from my youngest son, who's been looking for this one for a while at the right price. And now that he's got his own place and paying his own bills and going to school full time and working full time, he doesn't do a lot of record shopping. This is actually a test to see if he even watches this fucking channel, because if he doesn't get in touch with me in a few weeks saying, "Hey, I saw that on your channel, Dad. That was great. Where's my record?" I'll give it to him. If that little bastard doesn't say a word about it, this one's staying in my collection. That's good parenting. And so, here it is, the big reveal. Ian McCulloch, Mysterio, his second solo album, and one of my favorites. I believe he has not made a misstep with solo albums. It helps by not doing too many of them in the last 20 plus years, but if he keeps the quality up, then fuck it, I can wait. He's older than me. This has been so hard to find, and I had mentioned previously that the only one shipping from the United States is going for $200 and has been so for a long time. So this just, I have an eBay search set for it that I get alerts, and got one and figured, oh, here's another prick selling it for way too much. I did have a ceiling on what I'm willing to spend, and I don't believe it's well represented on Discogs for what it goes for, because the median is $25. And I know damn well if this thing was on the wall at a record store, it'd probably be 50 plus. I got it for a price that I consider extremely fair. Ian McCulloch, I've mentioned many times my love for Echo and the Bunnymen. This one is beautiful, and it was only released in Europe. Doesn't have a remaster re-release yet or anything. I wish I could have found, I had the CD single for Honey Drip, and it did have 2 acoustic songs on it. One was a version of Proud to Fall from his first record, and there was an acoustic of Vibor Blue from this one. Just sheer perfection, and really makes me hope that someday Record Store Day people will get off their asses and do an Ian McCulloch release or 2 or a box set. I'm not particular. I'll buy it. So yeah, that's my January, y'all. It was it was a rough month physically. I have the permanent implementation of that spinal cord stimulator coming up near the end of this month. And if all goes well, I should be back to at least walking and talking without a whole lot of pain by March. And that means a lot to me because, yeah, the last year has been extremely hard physically and much more so the last 5 to 6 months. And I want to say that I appreciate everybody who's reached out privately and sent their best wishes. That means a lot because the pain and drugs can kind of sap you of your will to be involved in things that are outside of your daily life. I mean, nothing really, nothing was missed at home here. I still have my life, but I wasn't communicating with friends as much. And although I was watching everybody's videos, especially the vinyl tags, I wasn't responding as much and sending them my best wishes and telling them how great it was that they're making their videos for us to see, because I am grateful for the vinyl community. And one thing I really regret about the last few months of this is I hadn't finished the Sad Bastard vinyl tag video that I was making. I got as far as the intro and just like things got too difficult physically, so I didn't finish that. And I regret that because I was going to make that one as fun as possible. So I'm going to try to participate a bit more, and hopefully by March things will be back to normal and I'll be doing a video every week or two, which has always been the goal, to just be in the community and talking and being part of it. I missed out on so many fun vinyl tags, man. I hope they continue. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and hopefully I'll see you all in a few weeks. It is terrible to have missed so many things going on in the vinyl community. Okay, so for this final, by a lot, for the only one of that album in sale in the United States right now. In sale. Fuck. So we can start with what is now the vast. Man, it is hard as fuck to get this on there without that ring light glare. God damn it.